Hey guys, welcome back to Michelle's STEM Journey. I am Michelle and I'm here today with the third video in the series, Swift and Xcode. In today's video, we will be exploring variables. So without further ado, let's get started with the video.
Okay, so welcome to video 3 in the series Swift and Xcode, and today we will be exploring variables. What are variables? A variable in programming is a way of storing a value. For example, if you want to store a paragraph that you will use later on in your program, then you can assign a variable to that paragraph. That way, you can just call the variable in your program instead of writing that same paragraph over and over again. So basically, you can kind of think of a variable like a container that stores all different kinds of values and datas. And then once you define a variable and set a value to that variable, you can just keep on calling that variable later on in the program, so you don't have to type out the values that you stored into that variable multiple times. So we use var, var, to indicate a variable. The name of a variable should describe the value that it holds. And so, for example, to the left side, we have var greeting equals hello. So the name of the variable greeting, it describes the value that it holds, so hello. And then the name of a variable cannot start with a number. So a variable name, it can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive. So lowercase h and uppercase h are two different variables. So this kind of makes it a little picky when writing Swift, because if you accidentally define a variable using uppercase G in greeting, and then later on you forget that you used uppercase and you type out lowercase g for the variable greeting when you're calling it, then it will produce an error. And so we can go to Replit to try it out. So var, and then we could put name equals, I'm going to put a string Michelle. Or we could put var age equals 15. So the variable, it can store all different kinds of data types. And then if we print this out, we can print out name, and then we can print out age. And then to the console, it would give us Michelle and then 15. And so this shows how convenient defining variables are, because if you had like a really long name, then you could just call the variable name instead of typing out the really long name each time you want to use it. So variables, they hold information that can be changed or updated later on in the program. However, constants are used to store information that will never change. And so we use let to indicate a constant. And so in this example here, number is the name of that constant while the value is 9. And so going to Replit again, we have already gave two variables here. And if we wanted to change the variable and let the variable name be equal to the value called Sophia, for example, and then we can print name again, run it, it will give us Michelle 15 and then Sophia. The reason why it is still printed out Michelle at the beginning is because we updated the variable after we printed out name. So we first defined the variable and then we printed it out, and then we updated it, and then we printed out the updated version. So it would give us both. But if you see here, we can update or change variables. But if I have a constant, let constant be equal to hello, if you run it, it is the same thing that pops up in the console. But if we change it, if we try to change constant, which is the constant that we set up earlier right here, if we change this to hello world, and then we print it out. See, it gives us the error that says cannot assign to value constant is a let constant. And then it also gives us a note. So it tells us to change let to var to make it mutable. And so here we see that once you've defined a constant, you cannot change it later on. And so variables and constants, they can hold all different data types. So it can hold numbers, it can hold strings, it can hold arrays, and then it can hold dictionaries. We will get into arrays and dictionaries later on in the series. Okay, so now moving on to string interpolation. So string interpolation in Swift is a way to construct new strings by embedding values, variables, or expressions directly into string literals. This is done by placing the values or expressions inside a set of parentheses prefixed by a backslash, making it easy to create dynamic and readable strings. And so you will get this more when you see this example. So here we have two variables, ice cream shop named Baskin Robbins, and then another variable, ice cream flavor count equals 10. It starts by printing out there are, and then the program saw this symbol right here, a backslash, and then parentheses, and then it read ice cream flavor count as a variable. Instead of printing out the word ice cream flavor count, it will go back to the program and look for the value that is directed towards that variable, which is 10, and then continues reading the line of code. So flavors at, it will print out flavors at, and then it reads this symbol again, backslash, and then parentheses. And so instead of printing out ice cream shop, it goes to the variable, and then it sees that Baskin Robbins is directed to that variable. So it will print out Baskin Robbins instead. Okay, so instead of setting new variables, I'm just going to use the variables that I had earlier on in the program, and I'm going to print hello, my name is, and then backslash parentheses name, comma, and I am backslash parentheses age, years old. So you guys can guess what this will print out, but I'm going to run it. Well, let me comment this out really quickly because we tried to change constants earlier on in the video and we saw that you could not change constants. But I'm gonna run it again, and yep, it says, hello, my name is Sophia and I am 15 years old. So originally we had var name equals to my name Michelle, and then later on I updated the variable and I changed it to Sophia. So once I called that variable, it's going to go back to the variable and look for the most recently updated version, which is Sophia. So that is why I printed out Sophia instead of Michelle. And then I am 15 years old. So this is how to use string interpolation. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.